The 70s, Part 2. "1976 is Jodie Foster's big year, as at the age of 13 she stars in 5 movies this year. In the family drama Echoes of the Summer, The Little Girl Who Lives Down the Lane, the original Freaky Friday, Taxi Driver of course, and Bugsy Malone.
My name is Tallulah.
Alan Parker's weird gangster movie with kids, which is adorable by the way, with their pie guns and their little bicycle cars. Anyways, 4 favorite movies for 76, and in number 4 is In the Rhythm of the Senses.
ねえどうしてキッちゃんのおちんちんはすぐに立つんだい？
それはな、お前が欲しがってくれるからだよ。
This is a very explicit movie with a lot of nudity and actual sex in it, and it's a story of 2 lovers giving in to their all-consuming passion. I remember watching this movie for the first time on television, and I think I was with my mom, which was awkward enough to watch a movie like this with your parents, but then there was a scene involving an egg and a vagina that made us turn it off. I remember how shocked I was, not only from the scene itself, but from the fact that this scene was in an art house movie that I could watch on television. I think it was the first movie that expanded my views about nudity and art and what is acceptable.
おばあちゃん、精が出るね。
おかげさまで。
So you know how I said Barbarella was a good example of the male gaze in the 70s? Well, I have a better and creepier one. Carrie opens with a slow-motion camera pan through a girl's locker room, with them frolicking around naked, having pillow fights or whatever, to eventually focus on erotic close-ups of Sissy Spacek showering. This is a 3-minute scene, by the way. It's longer than an average song. And don't forget they are supposed to be schoolgirls and probably on the younger side since Carrie is having her first period in the scene. This is a male gaze at its purest form. There's no hiding or pretending in the 70s. Carrie, based on a Stephen King book, is the story of a girl with telekinetic powers getting bullied at school and living with an over-religious and very abusive mother.
Why didn't you tell me, Mama?
And God made Eve from the rib of Adam.
This is, I think, the first movie adaptation of a Stephen King book, and aside from the creepy start, it's still one of the good ones. Sissy Spacek is, of course, phenomenal in the role, as well as Piper Laurie playing her mother. And I think De Palma is also a very good match for Stephen King's writing. They both like going over the top and embrace the campiness, so they complement each other pretty well.
Trust me, kid.
All the animals come out at night. Whores, skunk pussies, buggers, queens, fairies, dopers, junkies. Sick, venal. Someday a real rain will come and wash all this scum off the streets.
Taxi Driver is a movie about a guy who thinks he's gonna be Batman, but ends up being the Joker instead. It's also one of the movies the movie Joker ripped off in order to have more credibility. Martin Scorsese was one of the first directors that helped me see movies from behind the camera and made me understand them in a more technical and creative level. He doesn't hide the camera and uses it in a way that if you pay attention, you know exactly what everyone is feeling and thinking. His movies, especially his early ones, were like a film school for me.
Oh, okay. Did you get my flowers in the... You didn't get them. But I sent some flowers. Well, okay. Can I call you again? Tomorrow or the next day? Okay. No, I'm gonna... Okay, yeah, sure, okay.
And my favorite movie of 76 is... In this distant future, humanity lives in cities under great domes, totally isolated from the outside world. They live a life of pleasures and prosperity, but only until they're 30. Then they have to sacrifice themselves in a ritual, believing that they will get reborn. If they try to run, they get hunted down by Sandmen, the police force of this place, and one of them is our main character that will go on a journey outside the city, trying to find the mysterious sanctuary.
What is it?
I don't know. Whatever it is, it's warm.
I love this movie. It's my favorite 70s science fiction movie before Star Wars, and it encapsulates perfectly everything science fiction was back then, from its deeper philosophical story and social commentary to glamorous set designs and wearing togas in the future.
Now, any place could be like this. Everything hurts. I hate outside. I hate it. I hate it.
Jessica!
Although, I think it suffers a bit from not having a bigger budget. The miniatures look great, they built a whole city, but the rest of the future looks like it was shot in a shopping mall. Or maybe it's a commentary on consumerism, who knows. Anyways, it's a great science fiction movie, a great example of 70s science fiction, and it's also kind of the last of its kind, since we all know what movie came out next year and changed everything.
Big Jim Slade. Big Jim, former tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs, is outfitted with various whips, chains, and a sexual appetite that will knock your socks off. Big Jim has satisfied women throughout the world, and the capital of Nebraska is Lincoln.
We'll get to that in a minute, but first, a couple of nightmares. Dario Argento is a low-key favorite director of mine, with a visual style and camera work that can stand next to any legendary director of the industry. The only reason I don't have more of his films in my list is that he tends to be a bit repetitive with his themes, mainly dealing with serial killers that kill women. Suspiria is different though. Well, women are being killed in this one as well, it's not that different, but the reasons are more supernatural. And it's also probably his most visually stunning movie. From the first second, this movie is all atmosphere and style. The colors, the set design, the music, everything makes it look unreal. Like entering a colorful fever nightmare. Speaking of nightmares, look who's making his first movie this year, bringing some of the weird back. It's David Lynch with Eraserhead, a little comedy about parenthood.
Shut up! Shut up!
This is one of those first movies that you know exactly with what kind of artist you're dealing with. And it's also one of the best visualization of a nightmare, of an actual nightmare that you wake up and you feel relieved that this wasn't your life. Everything is so off-putting, so depressing, so scary. And the scariest thing, it's not the baby, it's not the sound, it's how familiar everything feels. Like, you know these people.
Alright, let's see. My stop leads you to the single circuits and leads you right to nowhere. Mary 10.
So this was my favorite Spielberg movie when I was a kid. It was between this and E.T., but I always preferred visual effects in movies over practical. And not only this movie has some amazing visual effects, but it was also the first time that I was learning how they were made. I remember my father telling me when we were watching it that they used an image of LA in reverse to make the details and the lights in the UFO.
On the way to and from the Bombay location, I passed a huge oil refinery with like 10,000 lights inside the pipes and tubes. It was amazing to see at night. It was fantastic. And I sketched that down, and when I came back to LA, I was up at Mulholland Drive, and I said, wouldn't we need to take the lights of the San Fernando Valley and invert them beneath the oil refinery concept from Bombay? So I had George Jensen draw it up, and that's how the mothership came into being.
And of course, this is one of the movies Stranger Things ripped off in order to have more credibility.
Oh, I hate this overpriced bullshit, son of a bitch!
Okay, next movie. The Kentucky Fried Movie is written by David and Jerry Zucker and Jim Abrahams, the people behind all the great comedies of the 80s, and it was directed by John Landis, director of Blues Brothers, Three Amigos, and many other great movies.
It's 19 minutes after the hour, and now it's time for our daily feature, the Astrological Report. A quick reminder, these reports are not intended to foster a belief in astrology, but merely to support people who cannot take responsibility for their own lives. Joyce?
It's not even a movie. It's a collection of sketches like movie trailers, TV commercials, news reports, etc., with a bigger portion in the middle of the movie being a direct parody of Bruce Lee's Enter the Dragon. And yeah, if you know me at all, you know how much I love this kind of surreal humor, and not only this is one of my favorite comedies, but it's one of those movies that was very influential to me and informed a lot my sense of comedy.
3 years ago, our Johnny died. We thought that there was no hope, but then we discovered the United Appeal for the Dead. They showed us that despite Johnny's handicap, he could still be a useful member of our family and the community. The United Appeal for the Dead turned misery into happiness. We have them to thank for our family's newfound togetherness.
I mean, at this point I don't have anything else to say. I'm just talking as an excuse just to show you another clip.
Samuel L. Bronkowitz presents Linda Chambers recreating her classic role. And introducing Susan Joyce and Nancy Reeves.
Susan, this is Nancy. Nancy, this is Susan.
This is technically my favorite movie of the year, but I left Star Wars for last because we'll have more to talk about.
Show me your nuts.
Oh, how you doing? We're from USA.
So going into Star Wars, I was wondering which version should I watch for this. Should I watch the despecialized edition that brings the movie as close to the original as possible? Or go for my favorite version, the revisited edition, that removes some of the CGI bullshit as well as restoring Han's scene, but keeps the rest of the enhancements. Because to be honest, I was always a big supporter of the special editions, and I think most people wouldn't have a problem with it if Lucas didn't get carried away, and of course if you could still access the originals. I mean, we do all sorts of game remasters all the time, why not with movies?
Fly along with Ham Salad and Chewchilla, the Wookiee monster, as they make their daring getaway.
And sure, I felt a bit weird the first time I saw CGI Tatooine in A New Hope, or Christensen's face in Return of the Jedi, but it's fine now, right? Just some early 2000s CGI in a late 70s movie. It's okay. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Even if you watch the most recent version, these movies still look old and disconnected from everything else, because everything else is different now. The whole Star Wars universe is different. The lore is different, the designs, the cinematography.
What's this?
And most of all, it's the way we make movies that changed. This is, I think, what makes A New Hope and the rest of the old trilogy look so disconnected. They are not made to be dissected frame by frame for YouTube content. They're not filled with cameos, Easter eggs and references to connect it to a larger cinematic universe or to celebrate the franchise itself.
Your father wanted you to have this when you were old enough.
Gosh. Wow-wee. Jeepers. Golly willikers.
And that got me thinking. Maybe it is time for another special edition. One that will connect the old trilogy to the Disney and Filoni era of Star Wars, the same way Lucas did for the prequels. You know, things like when Luke goes to Mos Eisley, we can see those colorful Vespas parked in the background. Or how about a Beast story with Cal Kestis and Ahsoka teaming up to free some horses or whatever. You know, Star Wars.
We're out of control. We're being drawn toward it. Get us out of here.
Take it easy, kid. It's only a movie.
By the way, those scenes were from Hardware Wars, the first Star Wars fan film made the same year as Star Wars and still one of the funniest.
Come on, let's go.
Now, you go on without me. I'll be all right. Don't worry about me.
Oh, what a martyr.
Martyr. I don't
See you later, you martyr, you.
Martyr.
I feel like 1978 is the year that the 50s nostalgia that will dominate the 80s officially starts. Grease came out this year, one of the most quintessential 50s nostalgia movies, and not only we have the first in a series of 50s science fiction remakes with Invasion of the Body Snatchers, but there's also a parody of 50s science fiction B-movies with The Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes! Attack of the Killer Tomatoes!
This is not the last time we're gonna talk about this franchise, and although it's not as funny as the sequel, it certainly has some great moments.
I must apologize for the size of this room, gentlemen. It's all I can do. It's a short.
There's also a genre of movies that we haven't talked about yet, martial arts movies, and we have two great ones coming out this year. One is Jackie Chan's Drunken Master, and the other is The 36th Chamber of Shaolin, a movie that focuses more on the training and the philosophy of Kung Fu rather than flashy choreographies, although it has those as well.
Martha, Clark, Kent, are you listening to what I'm saying?
We hold this movie in a very high regard and for very good reasons. It's the first successful big-budget superhero movie, paving the way for everything else, etc. Christopher Reeves, of course, is iconic as Superman, but not only him, everyone else is also pitch perfect for their roles. Even Gene Hackman, although his legs was nothing like in the comic books. It's not a perfect movie, it has its problems. It's slow, it has no action, we all know how silly the ending is, and come on, what the hell is this?
Here I am, like a kid out of school.
Still, This is, and it might always be, the best representation of classic Golden Age Superman on the big screen.
Bad vibrations?
Listen, Sandy, men are rats. Listen to me. They're fleas on rats. Worse than that, they're amoebas on fleas on rats. I mean, they are too low for even the dogs to bite. The only man a girl can depend on is her daddy.
Yeah, I love Grease. It's one of the movies that made me fall in love with 50s aesthetics. I love the music, I know the songs. I actually went and bought the soundtrack the next morning after I watched it for the first time. I bought it on a tape, which I still have, by the way. Here, I even made a custom cover for it. On the other hand, it was a bit more difficult to watch now, since I could recognize all the toxic and problematic behaviors everybody has. Everyone here is an unlikable asshole, and you know exactly what kind of people they're gonna grow up to be.
Tell me more, tell me more. Put up a fight.
Which makes it very sad to watch, but also more period accurate, and I mean both the 50s and the 70s.
From these streets, very close to the cavern Rutland, came the fabulous Rutland sound, created by the Prefab Four, Dirk, Nasty, Stig and Barry, who created a musical legend that will last a lunchtime.
So Eric Idle, from Monty Python, had a Beatles parody band for many years called the Rutles. And in 1978 he made a documentary about them, parodying again the old Beatles movies.
I didn't need a shove. Now that we are two, it all adds up to love, love life, make up your mind, love life in your own time, love life, hey, little, got little, baby in the middle, time goes by as we all know, naturally. People come and people go, naturally. Let's be natural.
Yeah, it's very funny. If you think This is Spinal Tap is your favorite music documentary, you have to see the Rutles.
I asked Mick Jagger when he first became aware of the Rutles.
We were living in, squalor. We didn't have any money, and we saw these. There were the Rutles on the TV with girls chasing them. We thought, this can't be that difficult, so we thought we'd have a go ourselves.
Nasty and Chastity now plunged themselves into the art world. Together, they made a film called 1,000 Feet of Film.
You need faith.
Do I need to say anything else? Just go watch it. It's even free on YouTube. You can watch it right now. I will have the link down below. After the tremendous success of Star Wars, space was the place everyone wanted to be. And 2 years were enough time for the next bunch of space adventures to be ready. One of them being the other big franchise with Star in its name. Being 10 years off the air, Star Trek makes its debut on big screen, and although some people think of the second Star Trek movie as the better one, I always like this one more. I know it's a slow movie with a lot of Enterprise porn, especially in the beginning, but so what? This is the first time we see Enterprise on the big screen and with a serious budget behind it, just let us enjoy it. And I like the story with the whole V'ger thing. It's good classic science fiction and very Star Trek. It's also the first time we hear the now iconic theme by Jerry Goldsmith. And even if you think that the movie could have been easily been compressed into a half-an-hour episode, you would still have an amazing Star Trek episode, that's what I'm saying.
Crucifixion? Yes. Good. Out of the door, line on the left, one cross each. Next. Crucifixion? Yes. Good. Out of the door, line on the left, one cross each. Next. Crucifixion?
No, freedom.
What?
Freedom for me. They said I hadn't done anything, so I could go free and live on an island somewhere.
Oh. Oh, well, that's jolly good. Well, off you go then.
Nah, I'm only pulling your leg. It's crucifixion, really.
Oh, I see. Very good, very good. Well, out of the door.
Yeah, I know the way. Out the door, one cross each, line on the left.
Line on the left, yes, thank you. Crucifixion?
Yes.
Good.
I said in the previous video that The Holy Grail is my second favorite Monty Python movie. Well, this is a first.
I'm warning you, if you say Jehovah once more, right, who threw that? Come on, who threw that?
Was it you? Yes. Right, well, you did say Jehovah.
Although, to be honest, I didn't enjoy it as much as I used to. I still love the story, some of the jokes and the general anti-religious themes, but they do spend a lot of time making fun of people with speech impediments, which is not cool, Monty Python. What the hell?
No. Oh, come on. Yes, sir.
Anyway, get on with the story.
Well, I initially never really liked them, so I thought to myself.
You know, watching this movie, I realized that maybe I'm not really a fan of the Alien franchise. Obviously, I love this movie. It's one of the best science fiction movies ever made and set the tone for a lot of 80s science fiction and horror. I love the monster design by H.R. Giger, of course, the set design, the dystopian industrial future, the characters, everything works in this movie, 10 by 10. But that's exactly my point. Everything I like from the Alien franchise comes from this movie.
Jesus Christ. What is that, man?
Hey, how the hell's he breathing?
He's still alive or what?
Hey, why don't you guys freeze him? How come they don't freeze him? What's going on, man?
What the fuck is going on here?
Sure, being a franchise with more misses than hits doesn't help, but even the good ones, like the second one, I never cared about it as much. I think I only saw it once. I will rewatch it though when the time comes.
Utopia.
We haven't got any time travel movies for almost 2 decades. Something that will change in the next decade, since the 80s is a decade of time travel movies among so many other things. This is another one that is based on Wells' book, although very loosely, and it goes in a whole different direction. It starts the same, with Wells revealing to his friends that he built a time machine, but then one of his friends happens to be Jack the Ripper, who steals it, escapes to the future to continue his crimes, and Wells chasing after him. The future, by the way, is 70s San Francisco. So, in time travel movies, there is a trope sometimes that I always liked. It's the fish out of water trope. You know, when characters from different times come to our modern life and react.
I never saw wood like this before.
I know, it's silly, but I always have fun watching it. Maybe because it's something I sometimes think, you know, how would this person from history or this old science fiction writer react to our modern society, the internet, etc.
May I help you?
I'd like to see the officer in charge of foreign currency exchange.
You're looking at him.
You? Surely there must be a gentleman.
Don't be a chauvinist. It's taken me 3 years to make it to 4, and what's the matter? Don't you believe in women's liberation?
Also, Mary Steenburgen is in it, and she's delightful as always, although a bit homophobic for no reason.
Against bank rules.
I don't care. At least he's not gay. It's not often that a strange man turns me on, or a strange woman. Oh, don't get me wrong, I didn't mean to imply I was a dyke.
A dyke?
And there you have it. Those are my favorite movies from the second half of the 70s. What a journey the 70s were, eh? We started in total chaos and experimentation and ended up witnessing the birth of the new Hollywood, the modern blockbuster, and some of the biggest franchises. Next time we see each other, it will be the 80s. The whole reason I started this series of videos and one of the greatest decades for cinema. Also, I will start making a video for each year from now on, so yeah, see you in the next one, hopefully soon. Bye!